Right, so in today's video we're going to be continuing with our autumn lawn care stuff. We're going to be getting on and giving this lawn its first feed of autumn winter feed today, because we're getting to that time of year now where we want to start getting this lawn ready for winter. So just as a bit of an update as to what we've done to this lawn recently, about 3 weeks ago we did a full renovation on this space. We scalped it, we scarified it, overseed it and top dressed it. You can see if we get in close, there's lots of that new growth that has started to come through, and it's beginning to re-thicken that sward. And so far, even if you get over the top now, the sward is in a really nice condition. It's nice and dense, and what we're kind of aiming to do today is, by feeding the lawn, we're going to help these new little seedlings that are coming through and help them start to mature. But before we give the lawn a feed, let's get the mower, let's give this lawn a quick cut. There we go, not a massive amount off the lawn, only a tiny amount. And a big reason behind that as well is the fact that this lawn hasn't been fed in ages. So because it's ryegrass, you give it a feed, it's going to have a lot of vertical growth, but because we didn't feed it during the renovation period, we wanted those new seedlings to come through. It's almost like due now for that feed, hence why we're getting on today with its first autumn winter mix. So the reason why it's ideal to be getting on now with an autumn mix is because there's less nitrogen in an autumn fertilizer. I mean, this is from the grass peel, but most, autumn feeds are going to do pretty much the same thing. So if I look at this bag, it says it's only got around about 3% nitrogen, which is quite low, and it's got 12% phosphorus, 12% potassium. What that's ideal for is root development. So if we think about the new plants that we've got in this lawn now, those new little seedlings, actually encouraging the growth of those roots and getting those plants as strong as possible is key now, and that's exactly what we want, to prepare this lawn to get itself ready for winter. Because through spring and summer you want to promote as much growth really as you can, because that's going to thicken the sward, it makes it less prone to being riddled with weeds, so on and so forth. So that's ideal then. Whereas because the temperatures are much, can't even get into this bag, we don't want to be promoting loads of growth, because what it can do is make the plant a little bit weaker than we ideally want it to be. If we promote too much growth, it's going to kind of waste that energy rather than using it to help it get through the trickier months. So with this being around about 15 square metres, I'm going to get on with just over a kilo of the product. It's got an application rate of 70 grams per square metre. You can put on less if you want, put on a little bit more, no one's going to die from the application of it. And just to be certain, each of these is around about 500 grams, so 2 scoops there is going to be enough for this lawn. It is better to use a rotary spreader when putting fertiliser down, but with the size of this lawn, it's not massive, and also there's quite a lot of space around the outside, so if I use a rotary, it's going to fling the fertiliser all over the shop. So I'm using this, it gives me a precise application. It does mean a risk sort of having overfed spots or underfed spots, but doing 2 passes in alternate directions kind of mitigates that. And because the lawn's so small, I'm not really going to get a checkerboard effect. If you're not sure sort of what setting to put your spreader on, just start off a little bit smaller than you think is kind of required and do multiple passes if you need to. Yeah, if you've got a big space, it's a little bit more inconvenient, but you're better off sort of learning your lawn, learn sort of the best setting to actually use for your space. I usually get on with around about between 4.5, 5.5 upwards to 6. I think I'm going to go with 6 today, because these granules are quite big compared to the spring feed I've been putting down. So there we go, the lawn is now being fed, and what you want to do now is water it in. I'm not going to get the hose pipe out or the sprinkler out, because we've got quite a lot of rain coming over the next couple of days, which is going to completely dissolve the product we've just put down. And we'll check in after around about a week and a half and see how this feed is getting on. So there we go, it's been a week now since we got on with the autumn winter fertilizer, and it'll still be kicking in and doing its thing. I mean, at time of recording, we're just on the back end of that terrible amount of rain that we've had recently, so that's absolutely washed everything in pretty well, I would say. So it's probably going to need another feed within the next month or two, again just to support it getting itself through the winter in decent nick. But the actual sward overall, I think, is looking great at the moment. If I just bring you in close, you can see there are no weeds knocking about whatsoever. We used Weedle to take care of them a while back. There's a nice consistent green colour across the entire space, and the density of the sward, it's not too much. You can still see the soil between the grass blades. I just think it's in the best condition it's been in autumn so far. And I think a big reason behind that is the fact that I've been using this web push cylinder mower to cut this space. The fact that I've been cutting it with a cylinder mower which cuts your lawn like scissors, it's not nearly as aggressive as using a rotary blade. I think it's just meant that this lawn is in one of its healthiest states that honestly it's ever been in. So let's get this bar set at the right height and let's give this lawn another cut. So there we go, it shows you that you don't need to get a million and one things down onto your lawn. If you just do the right things at the right times, use the right products for your lawn, remember your sort of situation is going to be unique to you, then your lawn can be looking absolutely boss. This is not Britain's best lawn, it's not the best lawn in the world, not by a country mile, but it's half decent, it's weed free, it's got a nice dark green colour, and it's really healthy, and most importantly, it's ready now to tackle the rest of the autumn, and it'll be ready as well to get itself through winter. So if you have enjoyed today's video or you have found it useful, consider giving it a like. If you haven't already and you want to, then consider subscribing too. I've got loads of different lawn care videos on this channel. There's some garden renovation stuff as well. It's not all lawns, a lot of it is, but if you want to subscribe, feel free to do so. The Instagram as ever is in the description below. And finally, thanks for watching.